Hello, and welcome to turn 5 of uh, GMT's Wing Leader Eagles 4345 by Lee Brimacombe Wood and GMT, the Schlachtflieger scenario. Um, just doing some analysis here. I think the Germans are in a hell of a lot of trouble here. Significant thing is that this fighter here, this ME-109G flight, broke last turn. Slightly expectedly, because it did get the bounce on this Yak 3, but the rolls were terrible and they broke. The problem it causes really is that the Germans only have two functioning, if you like, unbroken fighter flights anymore. One is here climbing, and one is here. Now, the issue is because here's the Stukas and here are the Henschels. As you can see, one Lavochkin LA5 squadron has already got through the sweep, but also has the P39 and also the Yak 3 here. And these are all effectively behind these two fighters, and they're on a sweep mission. So their normal untallied movement tends to be 2 squares a turn in that direction. So it's going to be difficult for them to come back, particularly as for both of these squadrons here are behind these. So for tallying, there's actually a penalty. Not only that, but there's a hell of a lot of clouds here as well. So to be able to pick these guys up is well nigh impossible. Furthermore, if we look further down here, we have the next couple of squadrons here, the Yak 9s, who are also in cloud. So this means even for that BF-109G to spot this, it's going to go through 2 squares of cloud to find it. And so that's not going to be possible either. So the only enemy squadron they can really realistically tally is this one, L. But that's broken, and that's going that way. So if they pursue this, they're just going to make the situation worse because they'll run past the Yak 9s. Now, what you can do once you tally is you don't have to chase the actual squadron. So we're going to have to kind of use this squadron as a means to an end to get back in the fight. What we can do is if we tally from here, because that flight has tallied, we can do the sweep orders. We can do a support move, which means that it will fly towards the flight that has spotted something. So that may be good. That may be able to get us here, but it all depends on this guy actually spotting, which he should do, of course. So yeah, it's going to take some organising here for the German defence. Meanwhile, there are squadrons and squadrons of Russian fighters waiting to pile in, particularly on the Henschels here and the FW-190s here. The Ju-87s, the Stukas up here, are not as troubled, certainly at the moment, but what we could see is these guys actually spot the Stukas. There's a lot of cloud in the way as well again, but even if they don't, they're still going to be able to pick up the Henschels and the FW-190s anyway if they go through. And we've got the Yak 9s and another Lavochkin flight back there to pick up the Stukas, possibly during their bombing profile. So it's an interesting situation here. We don't have anything else to come in, so there is no setup phase. We're just going to go straight into tallies. So on the tally front, we're going to start with the Raider fighters, as always, and so it will be this fighter here to tally this Lavochkin here. So that's a 1 on there, but it's also a veteran here, so it's pretty automatic. We will roll the dice. 4, so there is a tally. So we put the P tally onto L. Now L is actually, because it's broken, I've put its wing display way up here, and so we'll do that, and that means that our N, even if it doesn't tally, and it's unlikely to because it's pointing this way and everything is behind it, it could fly to where this fighter, towards where this fighter ends up. But anyway, we'll try and tally with it, and the tally, I suppose, it's very difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it is behind. So that's another -2. It's kind of impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 with the veteran status. So yeah, it's really difficult to do that. The only one it could tally potentially is this fighter. But that's not going to be particularly useful. Well, it might be, because there can be free movement here as well. So 1, 2, 3, and again it's behind. So it's a -2 with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 4 because of the veteran status. So a 4 is not good enough because you need to roll greater than that. So no tally there. Fine. So we're on to the Russians, the Soviets. Let's start here, where this Lavochkin, I think, of course, is going to try and clock this Henschel, which is heading straight towards it. So that's a 1. He is green, so it's a 1 or a 2. It's not a 3 squadron formation, and nobody else has spotted it. So yeah, it's just 1 or a 2 to spot. Now that's not absolutely greater than a 2 to spot. That's not complete certainty, but 3 is good enough. So it has spotted the HS-129. This means that, of course, if anything else with the green radio net wants to look as well, then that's all well and good. Unfortunately, I'm not sure there is many left. Yeah, that's the other Lavochkins, another 2 Lavochkin squadrons, but they've actually broken anyway. So that's that Lavochkin done. We have the Yak 3 here, who is in the same square as this broken BF 109, and A here has I believe it would have tallied. Yeah, it has tallied this squadron. But we could break that tally. I think we will, because we're really after the bombers rather than the fighters. So we'll bring the tally back, and we will attempt to tally this Ju-87. So this would be 2 for the clouds it's in, 3, 4, 5 because of the wispy cloud there. So that's a 5. It needs a 6 to spot that. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'm wondering actually, because that's not a veteran. I'd probably like the P39 to spot this, but maybe these to go for the Henschels. So actually, I'll change my mind here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they're both as bad as each other. Hmm. Yeah, we'll go for the Stuka. We'll actually go for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. So we need a 6. Oh, we got one. Well, that was quite fortunate. Uh, okay, so A has actually tallied U. Good stuff. And P now will try and tally. Oh, sorry, T actually, not U. T, it was this one it was telling. P will try and tally U. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Or should he try and tally T as well? Interesting. Yeah. Because he will get a bonus because that's already been tallied. Yes, okay. We'll try and tally T as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Veteran makes it a 4. And the previous, the tally that exists from A, is A the same net as P? Yes, it is. They're both red. So, yeah. That will mean that's, yeah. So, that is a +1. Yeah. So count again. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 for the veteran. 3 for the reference tally. So we need greater than a 3. We get a 2, so it doesn't tally. Okay. Moving on, and the rest of the Russians are over here. So I'm just going to shift the camera a bit here. So our Lavochkin here is broken, as is that one. So we aren't concerned with those. The other ones we're concerned with are these yaks here. And I think they're going to struggle to see anything. But here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's no chance of that. So there's no real point rolling for either of those. And our Lavochkin over there has no chance. It's too far away. That's it for tallying, I think. Yes. So from tallying, let's go on to movement. And we have dogfights, of which there aren't any, because we seem to have breaking fighters happening in each of the combat so far. And so we're on to the bombers. So lowest altitude first would be the F190s here. Oops, that's slightly moved. Which are in the glare. So let me shift the camera again. Sorry about all these maneuverings. So yeah, these FW190Fs move here, two spaces a turn as usual. Then we have the Henschels. So this one will move 1, 2. Although it is going to be doing a strafing mission, so I'm wondering if we should drop down a... Maybe not, seeing as we've got the Lavochkin actually spotting it. Although in a next turn, if it's going to come in and attack tanks, well, as long as it's attacking that one, I think we should be alright. So yes, we'll keep it at the same level, just for protection really. That means that Lavochkin can then move because of the tally, and he'll move 1 to change facing, 2. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll get rid of the circling marker. So that's going to be a combat there. Then our second Henschel moves up behind. And finally we have the Stukas. So with the Stukas we do have a tally here. So you will move 1, 2. And what we want to do, I think, with the Ju-87s is actually to bomb the troops here. Whoops, just here. And leave the Henshaws and the 190Fs to bomb the tanks, I think. I think that's probably the way to do it. So we can get ready for a bombing profile soon with those Ju-87Ds. Now, U has no tally, so he's fine. However, T is moving behind, does have a tally with it. That's A. And here we have A here. Now, the problem with A, of course, is that it's below. But let's see if we can, with a 1, move it the other direction. I believe it's a 2 to move up to that to altitude 4 with the Yak 3. That's correct. It's 1 up to altitude 6, I think, is it? Yeah, 6. So 1, and then here, so 1, 2, 3 is as best as it can go for the moment. So it's getting there, and it needs a climb marker, of course. It's got a climb marker here. Right. The P-39 has no tally, so he's going to. He has his vector is actually there, so he will need to climb anyway. So we will do that, and he will circle here between the clouds. And he's climbing straight up. Just trying to orient this so we remember what they're doing, and we'll bring the circling marker back. So he hasn't spotted anything yet. Right. Right, so back over here we have our Yaks and our Lavochkins. So the Yaks are just going to keep going. Their vector is here, so 1, 2, and then circle. And R, 1, 2, 3. So they are both on their vectors. They've both, if you like, arrived. And somewhat looking for trouble. Let's see if I can find a return to base counter. There we go. Well, it's not return to base. On the back is a circling counter, so that Yak is circling now. Okay. And that's actually out of the clouds, so there may be some good spotting here happening. And our Lavochkin here. Although, yes, at that altitude, that BF-109 should be moving first. So P and L. So L will be moving before. So 1, 2, 3. Now P, we don't really want to follow it. So I think we will just move the 1, 2, and then turn for 3. That's allowed. We got free movement effectively because we have that tally. Right, that Lavochkin over here will move 1, 2, 3. And who else have we got to go? This Lavochkin will try and escape. 1, 2, 3. And finally we have the 109 at the higher altitude here, who is going to try and move towards this fighter here. So let's remove the climb, and we will move. That'll be 1, 2, 3 with dive counter. And that's our movement for the turn. we have just one combat, I believe. Yes. So the combat here is the Lavochkin with the 129 here. So let me set that up on the battle display. And here we are with our Lavochkin squadron, which is coming in on the Henschels here. So the Lavochkin, I think, will be doing a turning fight. This means it actually has a turn rating of 7. The HS-129 actually has a turn rating of 2. It would actually have a speed rating of 3, so certainly turning is the thing to do. So 7 versus 2. However, the Lavochkin is of course green, so it'll be a 6 to a 2. This, however, is still a +4, -4 combat differential. Looking through the modifiers, there is no modifiers. There's no bouncing, no experts, etc., and no weather modifiers. So it's just a straight +4 versus -4 roll on the combat table. So let's roll with. I'll zoom out a bit. Thank you. And we'll roll for the attack on the Henschel, which is a +4 table. A 7, and a 7 comes out as 2 hits. And on the -4 table for the Henschel, no, the Henschel doesn't have a defense modifier. It's actually a single seat aircraft, so there is no gunner. So even though we're doing turning, and there would be a +2 defense rating increase for turning, there is no defense rating because there isn't any gunners. This is why turning is fine for use against the Henschel. So -4 table, straight roll, no modifiers. An 8. An 8 is no losses, so 2 versus none. And so we'll roll for the losses on the Henschel. Now its great ability is its armour. So it's a tank buster built like a tank. So its protection is 5-6, and the Lavochkin's firepower, however, is 2. So it's a +2 on the dice, and so we roll 2 dice, add 2 to each one, and let's see what the result is versus 5-6 protection. So the 2 + 2 is a 4, is a miss. The 5, however, +2 is a 7. That is actually a loss. So 1 Henschel goes down. Right, cohesion checks. So on the Lavochkin side, we have no losses. It is green, so that's a -1 on the dice. It was the attacking side, so it's a +1. And before I forget, we'll put a ammo low marker on it, just as a reminder for next turn. Where were we? So no losses. It's a green for -1, attacking side +1, and that's it. So it's a straight roll on the fighter table. A 4 is abysmal. It's a 1 disruption level, so it is disrupted. Okay. And for the bomber, we have 1 loss, and I think that's about it. So just a -1 on the dice, but it's on the bomber table, which is a lot more forgiving. Oh, a 10, easily happy. So yeah, no effect there. Right, I'll move these guys back to the table. Right, back at the table here. One couple of things I forgot to do in the movement phase was actually move the broken ME-109 squadron. So I've done that here, and over here as well. They've dived out of the way to get the extra movement point and are heading for home. But that was not really a big part of the fight. That was our combat here, and interesting that how it's ended up with the Russian fighters. Over here we have the sweet fighters here sort of hanging over the top of these Yak 9s, so should be able to intercept them next turn. The Ju-87s here have attracted the attention of the P-39 and the Yak 3, but are still above them. And the Lavochkin here, it's got a loss on that Henschel, but it's disrupted now, so not so impressive. So maybe it's not as bad now as I thought it would be for the Germans. So anyway, on to turn 6 in the next video. And as always, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.